What's up, everybody? I'm Matrix Andrea, and we're going to continue our New Game Plus playthrough of Dark Souls 2 and the Shrine of Amana. So first of all, my stats. And then just for fun, I actually named her Dark Victory because of the Hexer build that I was using. And then my gear. And now we'll just move on into the stage. First thing to be said about the Shrine of Amana is that this was the hellhole of the Dark Souls 2 experience back in the vanilla version of the game. The mages in this stage had such insane tracking on their spells that it was very difficult to get away from them. And you would get magic spammed until you were dead. You'll see what I'm talking about. It's not nearly as bad as it was to begin with, but it's still pretty bad. And why are there so many pools of blood on this stairwell? I don't understand what these guys are fighting. Whatever. So the Shrine of Amana, you hear singing in the background, and if you see those little sparkles, you know that there's one of those little corpse lizard guys hiding in the water. So you got to be careful about that. I'm not going to pick up most of the items here because I really don't need to pick anything up. And you get these guys, the Archdrakes, and they're wearing the equipment that the cleric starts with. That's the class that I started as usual. Alright, I'm going to edit this out, so give me just a second. Okay, so if you talk to the Milfinito enough times, they give you smooth and silky stones. But anyway, like I was saying, the Archdrakes, the equipment that they're wearing, that's the robe that the cleric starts with. Although you don't have any of the other gear that they give you. Probably so that the cleric wouldn't be too overpowered. The mace that the cleric starts with is already pretty good. And then here's one of the other problems that Dark Souls 2 had. You shoot one guy thinking you're going to draw him into aggro, and he's telepathically chained to his friends there, so it makes it difficult to fight with them. Although if you run all the way back to the doorway, they will stop. So you can try to pull them in one at a time from here. Okay, this is a problem. Come here. And that was some straight bullshit too, because he had his shield blocking while he was in the middle of an attack animation. So just one more to go, and I'll go kill him and then just run through the rest of the area that we're in. Yeah, I don't understand that they can be blocking while they're in the midst of an attack animation. The player can't pull that off. Why can they? Oh, because Dark Souls 2 likes to cheat. No animosity on my part, I'm just calling it what it is. And then you got one of these other sorceress ladies up here. She's just a healer. She doesn't cast her magic spells. All of the magic casters show up in the next area. Take care of those guys real fast, though, because if they start healing all of the enemies that are around, it can cause you a lot of problems. And you got a whole group of those lizard guys in there with a chest. I can't remember what's in it, but I'm not going to bother. And it's a good idea to wear the magic protection ring in this spot. I don't like going without the stone ring because it's unfortunate when you're trying to stagger an enemy while you're attacking and it doesn't work. It works a lot better with the stone ring, but in this case it's better to run with the magic protection because that's mostly what you're going to be dealing with in this area. And you can see their spells curve to hit me. And then there's another one right over there. And the tracking on their spells back on release for this game was insane. It was just so crazy. Alright, so there's a Forlorn. I'm going to put my stone ring back on and then I'll try to take care of him. Yeah, these guys keep invading me in places that I'm not expecting. I'm not real sure about some of these areas that they invade me in. And this little asshole's going to keep backstepping, so fuck him. He's just going to get magic spam because it's already getting on my nerves. Ordinarily, if I was playing this by myself, I would just sit at the bonfire again and kill the enemies, but that's kind of a waste of time, so I'm just going to keep moving from where I am so I don't have to kill the same thing and bore everybody doing it. So you got a Hammer Knight up here. I don't think he was in the original release of the game. And these old knights are weak to strike damage, so I'm going to kill him with my mace. Although Dark Orb was doing a better job altogether. Yeah, and you know he's an old knight version because he attacks so slow. The ones in the Dragon Shrine are so insanely fast and they just never run out of stamina, so they will infinitely combo you and stun lock you and just kill you before you can do anything, and it's total bullshit and totally cheap. So when I get to the Dragon Shrine, I'm definitely going to be cheap and use magic against them. The other Dragon Shrine Knights, they're not so bad, but the ones with the hammers, they deserve a special place in hell for the way they are. Oh wow, I forgot about this guy too. Like I said, it's been a while since I've played New Game Plus, so yeah, he's got a butcher's knife, and we got one of those little bitches shooting magic at us, so I'm going to run back here and fight with him. And I swear to God, if this little bitch starts spamming the roll every time I swing at him, he's just going to get magicked to death. And you can see, I'm not sure where that sorceress is at, but the travel length of her spell, oh my god, it hit me from all the way over from wherever she was standing. I think it was that one up there on the left side by the pillar, and that spell went all the way back near the beginning of this area here. And I did try to roll that, but I guess I mistimed it. The Sorceress and the Archstrikes will both drop Twinkling Titanite, so if you're farming for Twinkling, this is a good area to do it, even though it's aggravating to try to fight them. And as soon as you walk up on this little island right here, you can see the ground under the water there, and there's a dragon rider. After you fight Vendrick, if you come here in human form, you can go through the door there and collect Vendrick's soul and his armor, and the dragon rider will be gone. So I'm not going to go over there right now. I can't get the door open, so there's no point to do it. And it's kind of risky because that dragon rider can knock you off into the water and you can fall to your death. It's difficult to see, you know, which ones are drop-offs because the water's covering it, and you're encouraged to use a torch. But as soon as you light up a torch, these lizard guys come after you. They get aggroed to it. And this house right here, oh my god, I didn't think that ogre would chase me. You can go out over that way where the pillars are and collect an Estus Flask Shard and Sunlight Blade if you don't have it. I've already got a maxed Estus Flask and I don't want to waste my time going over there because the path is narrow and you've got to go around the pillars and it's easy to fall off and die. But that stuff's over there if you need it. And if you walk out with the torch, I believe it's around over here. There's some curse pots in the water over there. You can get, I think it's Fire Tempest. But there's a bunch of curse pots, so it's a good idea to wear the hollow skin if you've got it. Alright, this used to be Felicia the Brave, and then they changed it to Lone Hunter Schmidt. He's got a bow and arrow, so I like to summon him so he can draw in some of the enemies for me and make things a little bit easier. Just help me shoot some of these enemies down before they turn into a real problem. So the problem here is that there's 3 Archdrakes over there, and I'm going to try to pull one, but yeah, okay, so that's, no, yeah, there they come. There's 3 come running at us. They're all telepathic. But you can run over here into the door and save yourself if you need to. Lead them into a kill zone. I mean, I understand that you could, in real life, if somebody shot you with a BB gun or something, you'd say, oh my god, and tell your friends, we gotta go check that out, and, you know, go running towards where it came from, if you're an idiot. But you could do it, and then you'd all come running. But in the other Souls games, Demons, Dark 1, and Dark 3, you would shoot one enemy, pull one enemy towards you, and the other enemies would just ignore you. Dark Souls 2 makes these guys telepathic, and then they all come running after you, which makes a lot of these bullshit encounters even more bullshit, because suddenly you're fighting 3 enemies at once, and then you just better be careful not to die. Dark Souls 2, I feel, cares more about killing the player than making it for a fair challenge. They don't want to make it hard but fair, they just want to make it hard. And you can see all the blood stains here. I'm going to assume that that's how most of these people died. And again, there's no animosity here. I'm actually having a good time playing Dark Souls 2. I actually like the Scholar version despite some of its cheap tactics. But I'm going to call it like I see it. Normally, Schmidt ends up returning to his world around this time. And if he doesn't leave by the time I light this next bonfire up, then I'm just going to send him back with the black crystal. Maybe he'll fulfill his duty by killing one of these things. Yeah, he's starting to turn darker, so you know he's about ready to leave. Now the sign right here is Felicia the Brave. She's got a grand lance, and they put her in an area where you have a pretty heavy melee encounter. So she's actually a useful summon right here, whereas before you'd summon her into the area that I just came from, and either she would get gangbanged by the enemies or she would just fall off the map. These enemies cast corrosion, so I have to stay back, but Felicia, she can just walk on in because she's an NPC and it doesn't matter to her. Now, ordinarily, I melee the little ones, but shit, that might be a problem. And that's why I bought so many repair powders from Chancellor Welliger, just in case. Ordinarily, I would shoot poison arrows at this big one here, but again, because I have Dark Orb, I'm just going to use Dark Orb to hit it from range. And shit, that's a problem, so let me equip my second Dragon Ring. Yeah, that'll do. I didn't think I was within range to get hit by that stuff, but I guess I was. And I'll just do 2 for good measure. I'll go restock on my supplies as soon as I get finished with this stage. So this is another melee heavy encounter, and I'm going to try to poison some of these sorceress. Let the poison kill them. There is a healer out in the middle of this area, so I'm going to have to be careful about that, but the ones that I can get away with shooting, I'm going to try to shoot them and just take care of them before they turn into a problem. Yeah, as soon as that one dies, I'm going to run out and Felicia can draw some of the aggro, and then I'll kill the one that's going to heal everybody that's out there. And there's a lot of sparkles in the water, so you know that there's a lot of those little lizard guys. But you got to kill this one quick, otherwise, yeah, she's going to heal her buddies. Weird thing about backstabbing in Dark Souls 2 is that something like a club or a mace does a lot of damage, but swords actually don't when you backstab with them. You know, poor Felicia. I'm about to get invaded by Peculiar Kindler. Yeah, here it comes. Let me see. I don't normally use sorceries, but sometimes this stuff comes in handy, so we'll see if it does. Fuck you. Yeah, not that I mind. I'm gonna get my human effigy from it. That was good, because that's a fairly annoying Red Phantom invader. And here we're at the end of the stage. The Demon of Song. This is actually one of my favorite bosses, too. Mainly because it's different from, mainly because it's different than your ordinary normal bosses. Alright, so I'm going to use my Claymore, and I'll use the Lingering Dragon Crest Ring and run in there and fight with this thing. Yeah, again, there's way too many humanoid bosses in Dark Souls 2, so pretty much anytime I fight one that looks like an animal or some kind of monster like this, it just, I like it better than armored humans. Usually if you stay back, it'll do the two-hit combo to the ground, but if you stand too close right in the middle of it and try to tank it, it'll swing both of its arms at you and do a more devastating combo to you, so you got to be careful about that. And that wasn't very hard. I'll give this one a bow because I actually really like that boss. So the key to the embedded, where I fought the Red Phantom NPC with the washing pole in Drangleic Castle, you can use the key to the embedded to unlock a door up there and free the other Milfinito that's up in there. Now, there's another bonfire up over here, but if you don't have a Fragrant Branch of Yore, then you can't get that hollow statue out of the way. You can see it up the stairway across from me. I'm not going to go over there. I'm just going to go this way, get to the Undead Crypt, and then I'll end the episode there. Now, the thing about the Undead Crypt is, as soon as I get down there, I believe Aldea is going to pop up. So, if that happens, when that happens, I'm going to have to edit that out of the video. And again, with my lovely doll that never blinks. That's just something that has always bothered me about Dark Souls 2. And I was kind of pissed for the Fashion Souls reason. There was no golden, brass, yellowish colored armor that I really liked in Dark Souls 2. That's why I always wear the Elite Knight top with the Knight leggings and the engraved gauntlets. As far as Fashion Souls goes, I think that does for the best. You know, in the original copy of the game, the bonfire was actually over here, under the stairwell, right there in the corner. So sometimes you'll see messages with people saying bonfire with a question mark after it. But Aldea is going to pop out of this right now. And like I said before, normally this scares the shit out of me whenever it happens, but I'm expecting it, so not this time. So Aldea will pop up a few times from these bonfires, and on the second two, he'll ask you questions, and you have to give a yes or a no answer. You would think that that actually matters to what kind of ending you're going to get, but it doesn't. As long as you encounter Aldea every time he pops up in the bonfire, and kill Vendrick before you go fight Nashandra, you'll fight Aldea at the end of the game. So we're going to go with that this time. I'll kill Vendrick sometime later, and then I'll fight with Aldea at the very end, and then we'll get to see one of the endings, or both. But I guess that'll do for this episode. I'd like to thank everybody for coming with, and I'll see everybody again soon.